All right, friends, it's T, and I'm back with one more video before I cut out. It's on Brandonharding. So Brandonharding has ripped his shoulder muscle right off the bone. Flexing. Can you imagine flexing and ripping the muscle off the bone in your shoulder? God, he must be so weak. It's incredible. This guy is so weak. But anyways, let's review this video. Brandonharding, the steroid slave, says, "The end of prep, tearing my shoulder off the bone." Well, yeah, I guess he's a damaged slave now. All right, let's see what he says.
So this is a video that I really, for the last 4 months, this was the last thing on my mind. This is the last thing I thought could happen or would happen, considering this is something that has never ever happened to me before in the history of me, well, going through life.
I think people are misunderstanding here. It's not steroids that, well, something grew faster than the other. I got stronger doing this than the other. No. He's not really building any muscles. These muscles are sarcoplasmic muscles, man. His muscles are weak. It's one of the reasons is it's because he's eating an artificial diet. The artificial diet, toxic artificial diet, is causing these problems in the muscle fibers because he's not eating even a natural diet, even though he is taking these injecting these plant DNA, steroids, whatever, in his body. But yeah, man, it's a lot of fluid he's just carrying. So that's all fake. If you need to take steroids to look like this, then I think you need to seek help from a doctor because this is nothing. I don't know what this is.
But the gym, especially like something that's quite high risk, where any injury can happen, anything can arise, but I've always considered the fact that I did things in quite a safe way. I've never like gone under load too heavy where I felt like I could injure myself, or done anything like super silly where I feel like it may result in something that would like put me out. But never did I ever think that what happened 2 weeks ago would have ever happened in the respect and the way that it did happen. So the last video you saw, I was 2 weeks out, and I was
but it did.
Staying in Manchester with James Bidwell, and we were shooting the collaboration collection that I'm doing with him and Hardbody as Hardbody's first ever collaboration.
Why would he think that something like this wouldn't happen to him? Eventually it would. Here's the thing. When you deny your body, here's the thing. One of the things is he's definitely eating something artificial, but denying your body nutrients, right? Depleting it of all these nutrients and trying to get like below this body fat, 3%, whatever, doing all these things, what happens is the muscles are depleted. They're weakened in a very weakened state. Even if you are taking steroids, they're in an extremely weakened state, dude. And there's a lot of fluid in there. And you start posing, yeah, and this is what happens. This is what happens. Your bones are susceptible to breaking too. Your teeth are susceptible to falling out.
This was literally days before, probably one.
Here's another thing. And the people ask me before on my channel, "Hey T, why don't you get ripped?" Get ripped for what? What purpose? Oh, I need to lower your body fat to whatever. My body fat is low, dude. It's like 10% body fat. How much lower do I need to go from 10%? 100% to 10%. How much lower do I need to go? Oh, you need to go to like 5% or 3% and walk around like that all day. Nobody walks around at 3% body fat. Not even these fake bodybuilders, dude. So I don't understand what people are talking about out there. You must be absolutely gone in your mind, thinking that everybody needs to get ripped because you can't build muscle, so you want to get ripped and pretend you look big, right? With your shirt off, a pretend look big because you can see the lines in the muscles. I see, because in your shirt you all look small, right? When you walk around in public, because that's where you spend most of your time in public. Oh, okay.
One of the most surprising events of my entire life. Not like one of the worst things I've ever experienced, of course, because I'm like genuinely good now, but definitely something that I wasn't necessarily mentally ready for from the perspective of I was giving myself to prep wholeheartedly. This was literally me preparing myself to make my pro debut.
It looks pretty lean there, pretty ripped, man, yeah. Pretty depleted. Like I said, you have to be pretty weak at this point and depleted to pose and actually rip the muscle off your bone, shoulder bone, whatever, posing. This is crazy.
Something that I never thought would ever happen, and day to day, moment by moment, I was gearing myself up to do something that I never thought I'd ever get the chance to do, which is step on stage with other pro athletes as a pro athlete doing something at a level I never thought would ever happen. I was nervous, I was scared, but I feel like that's why all of this sucks so much more, is because I was starting to believe that I was going to do well. I was starting to think like the physique I was developing and the condition I was in and the readiness I was leaning into, not just physically but mentally as well.
The problem is nobody told him that vegan diets don't work in bodybuilding. That's why you get weak and fall apart. You're deteriorating. You understand me? I'm pretty sure he's vegan diet. I don't know what he's doing. Somebody told me he's vegan diet, dude. That's what happens when you go vegan. Now you're going to pay the price. I should have went carnivore, unfortunately. Unfortunate for Brandonharding, he went vegan.
I was like, I'm going to be able to bring this to the stage and not be a small pro. My goal was...
Small pro. Can you imagine being a vegan on steroids, man, trying to build vegan muscles? Yes.
Hit top 5 in my first pro show, and I was starting to believe that that would actually happen. And at the moment when I took check-in pictures while I was in Manchester.
Has anybody ever told him that vegan diets are deficient in these, like deficient in amino acids and a bunch of other vitamins and minerals, man? It's deficient, dude.
And sent him to Callum. He was like, bro, you're almost there. And not just almost there from the...
Callum is the same stuff too as well. He eats a fake diet, fake vegan type of diet, and he tore his bicep and, you know, tore his knee and a bunch of stuff, fell apart completely. He's weak. He's very weak, actually. He's another weakling on steroids. It's all these weaklings that have to take steroids anyways, because these people, they just, I don't know, whatever. They're just weak people.
Perspective, like being 2 weeks out, we literally had a conversation that if I was to do like a 3-day peak, I could be show ready. And there were pictures that I was taking the day before it happened, where I was seeing lines in my physique and muscles that I developed that I'd never seen before. And obviously one of the most exciting things about bodybuilding, especially when you come to like do a show.
You've never seen them before because you take his steroids. Get it? You've never seen that cosmetic look before. Of course not.
Because you get to see all the hard work you've been putting in over like growth phases, is you get to see all the minor...
The hard work? You know what hard work really takes to build real muscles? It takes real hard work, bro. I mean, really hard work. You injecting a steroid in your butt is not hard work and just fooling or playing with the weights in the gym.
Little muscle bellies that are starting to peek through and show, and I was starting to see all of this stuff. Then something happened 2 days after Manchester where I was in the gym and I had previously just had a refeed. So I don't even know how this happened, because it's not something that happened like while I was training. It happened like after the session while I was flexing. The day before it happened, I had a 4,200 calorie refeed. My base calories were on 2,300.
2,400 refeed, but what type of calories? He says calories. What were they? Is it your natural diet you're eating? He's eating a vegan diet. Of course this is going to happen to him, man.
On a low day and 2,700 on like a regular day. I'd had a little bit of a bumper and it was more so conducive to the respective higher carbs. So we had 600 grams of carbs on the day before.
There you go. He ate an artificial diet, drugs. He ate drugs, an artificial drug diet called carbohydrates. He's eating drugs, man. Go figure. Drugs don't build muscles. They don't do anything. If anything, they deplete your body of nutrients because they're anti-nutrient, dude. Drugs. Eating these artificial drugs, man, they deplete your body of nutrients. And that's why these bodybuilders always get injured in the end. All of them, they always get injuries and they show up to shows and stuff. Torn biceps, this, that, whatever, chest, you name it, man. They're stupid.
With this came a ton of energy. My muscles were feeling strong. I was able to get a pump the next...
Yes, you're a ton of energy. You're high on drugs, that type of energy. It isn't based on animal fat. Why aren't you eating your natural diet, animal fat, and eating protein, animal protein, so you don't get injured? Are you stupid or something? I don't understand. Do you have a brain problem?
day that honestly emulated similar to the pump I got after the cheat meal that I had like a week before. But regardless, my body was super responsive. And
he had a cheat meal the week before. He had another artificial meal the week before. Man, this is a typical slave, a gym lifting, recruiting, whatever, a lifting slave. He's a steroid slave, dude. This is
needed to have another feed up because I was getting too lean too fast. With my glycogen stores being full, so your muscles are in a position where they're full of energy.
His glycogen muscles were full, see? Sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, what is that? An artificial muscle growth. His glycogen muscles were full. They were full, yes.
Energy, able to perform. It doesn't necessarily mean your ligaments are going to follow. And that's the one thing about bodybuilding that always scared.
They were able to perform, see? He was trying to add more to this artificial look by eating an artificial diet. It's not enough he's injecting artificial hormones, plant DNA into his body, but he needs to eat an artificial diet called carbohydrates to create more of this artificial look. Get it, man? It's crazy. More artificial muscles than the last time, and they just destroy you, especially on steroids.
Me is that when you are running things like Winstrol and Clen, and these compounds that are drying out your ligaments, they're sucking everything and making you so tight. Fighting that is the strength and the readiness of your muscles. So these two harmonious components that, you know, live tranquilly in the body your whole life are now fighting at different strengths, which is why I think what happened in the gym.
That's what I think happened. Wow. He doesn't know what happened. He's making this stuff up, man. He doesn't know anything.
Following day after the refeed, I had a fantastic workout, and in my mind I was like, I'm 2 weeks out. I have 2 weeks to gun it now and to give this everything I physically have because I'm 2 weeks out. My body was days out from the show. A few low days, maybe another high day, then half a diazide and a tan and a shaving a little bit away from being show ready. So I shouldn't have been training with the intensity that I was. While I was full, pumped post-workout, Callum wanted pictures to see what I was looking like because this was going to devise my calories for the day. He gave me 2 high meals in the morning, but I trained fasted because my goal for the day was...
Oh, he was taking advice from Callum Valmoger? Well, that's... Wow, man, that's like... Yeah, okay, great. Take advice from the guy who's like so weak and falling apart, who's got so many injuries. Now you got injured. Hello.
I can use the glycogen from the previous day. I drank 2 liters of water going to the gym. I was like, I'm going to be fully hydrated, train. I'd previously taken my morning stack, so Clen, Winstrol, Proviron, all the things I had to take, my Anavar, basically all of my oral pills.
Why are you taking clenbuterol? That's for asthmatic people. Man, these guys take the weirdest drugs, I swear. They're crazy. Oh, let's just pop anything. Who knows?
And then I went to go train. And I thought if I got my training session done in the morning that I could enjoy an entire day of food and just chill out and just have a really good time at the exact...
An entire day of real food that'll, keep you, be optimal for you is your natural human diet. Now, if you don't know what your natural human diet is, I suggest you look it up online, man. It isn't eating artificial plants are artificial. It's an artificial diet. It's fake. It's a fake diet. Now, if you're eating plants, it's a fake diet, and this is what's gonna happen to you when you eat them, dude. You're gonna become more injured than the last time.
13-day out mark. So I'm posing, and I got a guy in the gym.
Here's another thing. You look better on animal fat. Here's what I found too. You'll look better also as a bodybuilder on animal fat and protein. A lot of protein and animal fat and seafood. You'll look way better, But your problem is you are like these other guys stuck on these artificial diets and eating them. And you're like, well, I'm going to pump glycogen in my muscle. Well, yeah, I mean, animal fat is used as energy. Have you seen what you would look like on it? See what I mean? You still haven't built any real muscle, though. You know what I mean? Like glycogen, it's not real muscle, though. Just pumped out, dude.
That I've spoken to a few times to help me take these pictures. A front lat spread, a most muscular, a front double bicep, and a side chest. And it's the side chest where...
I always thought protein builds muscle, but I guess to these guys, I mean, I don't know. Glycogen does, right?
I can't do it now. I'll show you why in a second. Because my arm's kind of blue.
Yep, it's torn.
My lat was pressing against the inside of my arm. My rear delt was really, really flexed. In the side chest position, you flex your arm, so your tricep is also really, really flexed. There was so much pressure in my rear delt to tricep area that I flexed so hard that I literally tore my shoulder off the bone. And I didn't believe this in the beginning. I was like, the reason I just felt a pop, and a sound, and my elbow cock back further than it could previously.
I wonder why. He's so shocked why he's so weak that from posing, he actually tore the muscle off the bone. Okay.
A side chest pose, because obviously there's limitations from your muscles stopping you from rotating any further, as well as limited flexibility due to the fact that you are so tight from the pump and the drugs you're on for the show. You're obviously limited through the rotation you're allowed to achieve. But when that did happen, my elbow cocked back about this much further. My arm went dead, it kind of dropped down, and my whole arm went cold and numb. I had never really felt like I wanted to pass out so much in my entire life. Apparently, the guy that was taking pictures, he said my face was so white that he thought that I was going to pass out. The person that was taking the pictures had previously torn his chest, so he was a little bit more well versed in the tearing of muscles nature. I sat down on the bench and he knew what happened and I knew what happened, and I just felt this overwhelming is this what this feels like? I'd seen so many videos of people do this on Instagram, but never really knew what it felt like truly. I imagined what it might feel like, but never really knew what it would feel like. There was no feeling whatsoever. Which
I guess he does now.
Which led me to believe that it was something that had torn. But I also like to believe in the moment that it was just like when you crack your knuckles, it was an air pocket that popped. Or it was a ligament that sort of moved the same way when you get a sports massage. You've got loads of tight knots in your back and maybe one of them released within my shoulder. I also thought that it could have been, from a more serious nature, an injection, a bit of scar tissue that had released from injecting my delts. I wasn't really injecting my delts that much on prep. It was something that I rotate, because I always rotate between my legs, my glutes, my lats, and my shoulders to basically decrease the scar tissue that builds up. I was trying to create all these scenarios in my brain as to why I was feeling this thing, and I was in my boxer shorts obviously because I was taking these pictures, and I didn't know what to feel. I just knew that I needed water. So the guy ran to the front desk and he gave me some water. He gave me like a GSN protein wrap, and I was like, bro, this isn't on my plan. And he basically said, like, bro, you're eating this right now. Although those calories weren't going to touch me, in my mind I was 13 days out, no matter what was going on with me. I ate the wrap, I drank the water, and I lay on the ground, and the gym was very busy. I got so many messages from people that were at the gym basically being like, bro, what the hell happened? We didn't know what to do. I got up obviously, and I didn't really know what to do. I called the people that I knew to call. I called a surgeon that I knew that was in London, that was a private surgeon, and I couldn't get through to him because this happened on Bank Holiday Monday, when no one works in the UK. So I was like, I'm basically screwed. After about an hour of chilling, contemplating, procrastinating, worrying, wondering if prep was really going to happen, and convincing myself that no matter what this is, I'm staying on prep no matter what. Because I'd already quit a prep at the end of last year off the pretext that I didn't want to just compete in one pro show, I wanted to compete in 3 or 4, which is why I competed and started prep obviously 4 months ago. So I had it in my mind that this would never end, no matter what. Here I was, sat in my car, looking at my...
Looks like career's over, I guess. Well, this is a lot of explanation. I don't know. This is a long video, man. What's going on here?
My phone. It was half dead. Then it would turn on. Then it would die. Then it would turn on. And I was fighting the battery in my car that wasn't charging my phone.
Horrible for you. I feel bad for you, Brandonharding. My heart goes out to you. It's terrible. This is just terrible. It's a terrible thing, I guess. I don't know. I guess I won't be seeing you on stage, and I was so looking forward to seeing you on the stage posing in those tights and looking at your beautiful, hot, muscular body posing on stage, looking so young and vibrant and hot, especially at your age. Yes.
Fast enough, and it was just like, I felt this deadness, this give up. Oh. Just you're screwed. You've said you're
horrible. I feel so bad for you, man.
You're going to do this thing that you now can't do. You've gone through all these other things over the last period of time in terms of being dumped and whatever else. whatever. It was just a bunch of stuff, and I was like, really? Out of all things that could have happened, did this really have to happen? Because it was prep.
It's like a Greg Doucette video. Man, I told you so. I told you what happened to you. He wasn't listening to me. He should have bought my Abandoned book, cookbook and my Circle diet and my Circle and my training book magazine and whatever else. And Terkesterone and all that. And the Power and GO2 Max and all these things. Yeah. Okay.
That was keeping me straight. In my mind, it was anyway. And I realize now, because it's been 9 days since it happened now. And I realized that it wasn't prep that was keeping me straight. It was my own mental fortitude that was keeping me straight.
Let me make a suggestion. Maybe people are listening. They're not listening. He's never going to see this video, but whatever. I have a suggestion for Brandonharding. Brandonharding should, he should eat his natural diet, which is, if he doesn't know, it's a carnivore diet, dude. As raw as possible, raw eggs, whatever, raw meat, if you can even do that. But you don't have to. You can cook it a bit, right? You can barbecue it a bit, a couple of 1 minute, maybe half a minute on each side, and try to eat it as rare as possible. The beef, eat a lot of beef, make a lot of collagen. This is very important as you're prepping. You should make a lot of beef bone broth soups. From collagen. These collagen soups, they're really, really important. That's the glue that holds everything together. And that's most likely what happened there. There was a loss of collagen. This, it kind of dismantled and tore right off the bone, dude. So that's one of the problems you're having. It's not gonna destroy your physique if you make bone broth soups. It's no calories there. There's nothing. It's animal products, bro. It's gonna protect you and make you strong. Okay, it's gonna help you in your prep, especially if all else fails, bro. Like if you don't want to eat meat or whatever, animal fat or any of that, make yourself some collagen bone broth soups. You can put them in the fridge in these glass trays and fill them up. You'll notice the tallow will rise to the top, and below there will be all that collagen. You can heat it up and drink these bone broth soups. They're really good. They're full of collagen. They're going to help you with that problem. Honestly, it's going to help you. I'm not joking. I'm not joking, bro. I knew people on steroids in the past. They did bone broth soups and stuff. They had a lot of meat and animal fat too. But mostly these bone broth soups, they help a lot. Because it's collagen. It's a problem to break down collagen, dude.
Around me, it was my friends and family that I was able to lean on over the last 4 months when things kind of hit the fan. And prep was almost just like a catalyst and an excuse to continue on a straight and narrow path. When realizing now that it wasn't prep that needed to be there for that to happen, it was mental clarity, it was understanding, it was okayness with things that were going on in my life. I'm so glad.
No. This is a physical thing, dude. You need to eat very specific food that is meant to keep you together. And I'm going to recommend that you do bone broth soups. Well, it's up to you if you want to do that. If you don't, then continue on this path. And you're going to be tearing more muscles. You're just going to get weaker and weaker.
That some of the things over the last 4 months had happened, because it set me up to be in a position now where I'm able to completely come to terms with the fact that what has happened, and it's completely freaking okay. Because obviously, after the initial process of what happened after my phone did get charged, which was I went to a doctor's, it was a non-emergency.
It's not okay. You're obviously not happy with it, so come on, man. How could it be okay?
Hospital in Bromsgrove that I went to, they gave me an x-ray and they said that there's some minor potential bone fragmentation, but we can't really see because an x-ray can't see muscles or ligaments, you can just see bones. It was basically like a grey area on the line of my
bone fragmentation. Jesus, man. This is even worse.
Shoulder, that they couldn't really decipher what it was, and I was like, oh, okay, this is really good information.
Bones usually gravitate back to that area. Yeah, I don't know.
And it gave me the ability to be able to make the next call, which put me in communication with a guy called Radu, he owns a clinic in Worcester, and he was able to get me a referral to go get an MRI. 4 days later, I got the MRI. And within 2 days, I found out the results of it. I sat in this tiny little machine that scanned my entire shoulder for 45 minutes, and I was sweating buckets because it warms your entire body. And I was like a squidge because the machines aren't built for bodybuilders. 2 days later, the results came in, and this when I was on the way to pick up something that is now parked outside of this new apartment, which I'm recording this video in right now, because a lot has happened since this injury, all this was going to happen anyway, but it was going to happen after prep. But considering the place that I paid for 6 months up front, I was going to move into after prep when I got back from the Ireland show on the 1st of July was actually already available. I'm going to talk about that in like another video, because I'm going to give you like a full apartment tour. Because
well, I really hate MRIs, man. I've been in an MRI like 4 times for my nerve damage problem, whatever, and my spine problem. You could say they're all connected. Oh yeah, it's a terrible thing, that bonging noise and being in there, that little thing. You feel like you're in a coffin. It's crazy.
we are now in the new place, and this is actually the first full day here, and I love it, and it's amazing. And I've got a new car parked outside, which I'm going to show you. And if you follow me on Instagram, you already know. If you have been following any of this journey on Instagram, you will already know everything I'm pretty much saying right now. I just wanted to just sit down with you guys, and if you didn't know, to obviously just let you know that prep's over, and it sucks.
Thank you.
But it's okay. When I was on the way to pick up the thing that's parked outside my new car, Radu called me with a comprehensive breakdown and the results with a conclusion at the end. And he said, Brandon, I'm not gonna shit talk you. I'm not gonna basically like sugarcoat this. He was like, if you do the show, you're an idiot. And I said, why? Because I will do anything to do this show. And he said, because your shoulder is literally detached from the bone, and there's an 85% chance that you're gonna need surgery. I have a surgery consultation booked in 2 days to go to London to speak to a surgeon. He's going to give me a bit of a visual assessment, and I know we're already going to come to the conclusion that I do need surgery, because not only from a performance standpoint, from a visual standpoint, but from my own well-being and peace of mind standpoint, because I am going to have such bad PTSD now going to the gym and trying to train on something that I know could potentially pop again. Then from the aesthetic standpoint, it might not look the same because there has been a part of my shoulder that's come off. And then also from a strength perspective, a performance perspective, I now am going to have such bad PTSD going to the gym, going into a shoulder day, even after spending time recovering. Like if I took now a month off upper body days and I took all the peptides, TB, BPC, all these things on growth hormone and whatever else, and healing, not only is it going to heal in a position that it wasn't naturally meant to be in, and all this scar tissue is going to build up in a place that it shouldn't necessarily be, it's not going to be as strong as it was. So I need to get this surgery from the perspective of being able, after rehab, because what's going to happen is they're going to put some incisions in my shoulder, maybe a big keyhole surgery from 3 different positions all over my shoulder, or maybe they'll just slice me open and do what they got to do. Obviously, the surgeon does know that the aesthetic of my shoulder is really, really important based on the fact that I do want to step on stage one day. The main goal is obviously to just put it back in a position where it's close to where it was before. I'm then able to take the peptides to then spend that month then recovering and whatever else. And I'm honestly just like talking about recovery as if I know what I'm talking about. But realistically, I have no idea how long this is going to take to fully recover. All I know is what I've said in regards to I can't prep now. I can't come to terms with the fact that I prep.
How long is this video? Wow. 16 minutes, 17 minutes. And he's just rambling on about the same thing over and over again. How much can you talk about in 16 minutes? You tore a muscle, okay.
It's for 18 weeks for no reason. That's the hard thing, because I do not believe it was for no reason. I learned a lot about myself over this last 4 months, and granted there was only 13 days left before presenting the best physique I've ever brought to the stage in my entire life. But I'm also of the knowledge that the stage is always there, and it's going to be there in 4 months, it's going to be there in 6 months, it's going to be there at the start of next year when the new season begins, and that is completely okay. I've come to terms with it. I just wanted to sit down and tell you guys about it. I wanted to say that I'm sorry if I let anyone down. I maybe could have been better prepared.
I feel so let down. I'm about to cry. Brandonharding, I'm gonna miss you. My pal, bro. I'm your #1 subscriber, Brandon. I'm never gonna see you on stage. Oh, man. This is gonna be terrible. I gotta wait another year, dude.
I maybe could have done things differently for this to have not happened, but it did.
It did.
I'm dealing with it.
I'm hurting right now. I'm bleeding, bro. I'm bleeding. I got a bleeding heart, man, for you, dude. Yes, it's happening.
This is the end of Hard Body Shredding 2024.
Sounds like a song. This is the end.
I think this is episode 18.
It is.
Or something.
The end of my career.
But yeah.
It's the end.
I've received thousands of lovely messages.
That's nice.
And get wells and heal up fasts. And I want to let you know how much that means to me. Because although I can put on a brave face and say, yeah, it's totally fine, and yes, I'm in a fantastic mental position now, it's been hard. Because I do hold myself to such a level and standard of what I want to fall.
He's holding himself to a high standard. Do you think he treated his body with a high standard when he started in taking clenbuterol? I mean, come on. A bronchodilator. He's taking steroids. He's injecting different kinds of steroids. And that's one thing. I mean, I know he needs it for the stupid bodybuilding stuff because he can't do it himself because he doesn't know how to build muscle or get ripped. So he needs drugs to do it for him. He doesn't even know, like, he's on an artificial plant-based diet. If he really cared, he'd be on his natural diet, and he'd make some bone broth soups filled with collagen to keep his muscles strengthened so they don't tear. But he doesn't. That's why I say I don't understand. I hold myself to a high standard. You hold yourself to a high standard? What about your body? Are you holding it to a high standard? No. You're feeding it garbage. Slave diet, because Brandonharding's a slave just like every other slave that's out there, dude.
Myself to achieve that when things seemingly get ripped away from you because fate had a different decision. Fate had a different path for you.
Fate had a different path for this lifting slave, or I don't know, bodybuilding slave.
And you have no control over that. And that's what happened. But it's not been something I've not been able to overcome. And there's a lot I need to be grateful for. This new place, the absolute weapon I have parked outside, the friends and family that I have, and you guys. So that's going to be it for the video. This is the reality of prep. The body isn't necessarily made to do the things that we force it to do. And sometimes our goals are more dangerous than
Wow, he figuring that out now?
they should be. And sometimes we put our bodies, and sometimes we put things into our bodies that force it to be in a position to be fragile, both physically and mentally. Now we reassess, we heal, we get better.
You think, and then repeat, right? We assess, we heal, and then we repeat.
And we do what we can. We pivot, and that's all you can do.
Now, show us the injury
guys,
again.
if you enjoyed the video,
show us the injury one more time.
Which I hope you didn't. Drop a like, turn on post notifications, subscribe if you haven't already.
Is that it?
Because it really helps the channel grow.
Come on, show us that injury. I bet you he's going to show
And
it.
I'll see you in the next video.
Watch this.
Peace.
He's got to show it.
By the way, here's the shoulder.
Oh, there you go. Go figure.
That's what it's looking like right now.
There you go. Go figure.
Obviously, it's a bit shit. All the swelling. My entire shoulder is inflamed. It's all around the back. It goes down my tricep. And yeah, I thought I'd show you in person before I ended the video.
See?
But it is what it is.
It is what it is, dude. Dudeski. I told you, friends. Anyways, that shit happens, bro. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao, my friends. Tell me, yeah, whatever. I don't know what else to say there, man. That was just ridiculous. That was way too long.